Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. It looks like the prayers of the indigenous people of Biafra and lovers of freedom, and as many who have been looking forward to leaving the country, looks like their prayers are being or is about to be answered after all. Before we go into the newspaper to find out exactly what is going on in the radar, like and subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, a federal high court Abuja will today entertain the suit filed by the leadership of the coalition of northern groups CNG asking for a referendum for Biafra agitators. If you can recall that in June, the coalition has sued the National Assembly, praying the court to force the defendant to suspend the ongoing constitutional review exercise. Abdul Aziz Suleiman, the spokesman of the CNG, explained that a judge has been assigned to hear the suit. The leadership of the group and the suit filed by the plaintiffs, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, Nasura, Aisha, Sharif, Aminu Adam, and Balarabe Rufai. I joined the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, Senate President Ahmed Lawal, Speaker House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, and the National Assembly as defendants. According to the CNG, that's a Coalition of Northern Group, the defendant should immediately provide a framework for the actualization of agitators' demand for self-determination instead of constitutional review. According to the CNG spokesman, one of the issues for determination before this honorable court in the substantive suit has to do with the legal obligation of second to fourth defendants and all respondents to provide a framework that will pave the way for the self-determination of the southeastern states so as to leave the geographical entity called Nigeria before any further step is taken to review the constitution. Well, this is getting interesting. Don't forget that hours before now, it has been a case of the federal government using the presidency and as a Loretta Nature saying that this issue of agitation and release of Mazen Namdekano and the election that is there will be a sit at home and all that is the issues that has to do with southeastern zone. The presidency responded using Loretta saying not it's not gonna happen. That in fact the leader should actually cover their faces in shame, knowing the fact that their illustrious son that is bringing so much issues and chaos in the south, is that this should have been a case of calling their son out and saying why did he do such a thing, that whether they like it or not, the court will hear and it will go to conclusive end. All right, but let's quickly look at what people are saying concerning this matter. Of course, Nigerians have reacted, judging the fact that the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, are actually looking, they're actually praying that they should be given referendum, they should choose whether they want to remain in Nigeria or have their own Biafra, or their own nation called Biafra. And a lot of them are quite optimistic that if the referendum will take place, as in logically, in all fairness, with international community monitoring the process, that the likelihood of Biafra emerging via the referendum is very, very high, and they seem to have quite a lot of crowd who believes in that ideology. But of course, Nigerians have decided to react to what CNG is doing. And that's a coalition of northern group. This one here saying if it is not Takia, then CNG, that's coalition of northern group, is commendable. Normal human beings negotiate for peace. Only animals and cows call for referendum chaos. Well, referendum really is not chaos, not except you don't know what a referendum is. It's not about voting. Do you want to be in or out? Depending on the options involved, it could be a yes or a no or whatever, but eventually they will count just like every other elections. They will now count, okay, whichever candidate they okay, based on popular demand, based on quantity of votes. This vote is the highest, hence it's either Biafra will come or Nigeria will remain as one. It is used most often than not. It's always used for national issues to decide, based on if you want to stay or go, especially when it comes to the issue of actualization of the country or a nation. Well, as it is now, IPOB is looking forward to it if it will eventually come. And a lot of people are saying if it is not for the sake of maybe trying to be wonderful, it's actually commendable. I don't know why people are thinking that it is chaotic, but don't also forget that these guys are actually saying that it should be peaceful. A referendum is always peaceful if it's done properly. Uh, but be that as may, already the CNG is actually that northern coalition of northern groups are saying that they don't even want any form of review yet. They just want Southeast to leave. They should just go. Based on what is happening in Southeast and all that. But the challenge right now is not the fact that to start with, referendum is not even in our constitution, so they need it to be inculcated first in our constitution first before they will now start thinking of when do we conduct the referendum or the whole process. Now, if it is now being inculcated in our constitution, which is a plus for quite a lot of persons, for everyone, then the next stage will now be who are those that will conduct it. And that's why you see the likes of indigenous people of Biafra craving for the international community to come and monitor the process, so that there will not be any hanky panky moves here and there, rigging of the vote here and there, so that they will be sure that every vote counts. So technically speaking, CNG, if they don't have any ulterior motives, of course, is actually, if you ask me, they are working in hand to allow the indigenous people of Biafra to leave Nigeria. And by this time, they're asking that, look, don't, it's not by force. So like somebody will say marriage is not by force, it's by choice. If these guys say they want to leave, but Lerota not yet. And a lot of prominent people out there like Igbo and the rest are actually saying that this whole issue, that is only a small fraction of persons, that the elites in the Igbos are not interested in Biafra, that is just a case of small fractions making so much noise. We do not know how true that is. It's only referendum that will determine if it's truly a small fraction of Ndibo that wants Biafra truly, or if it's truly the whole bulk of Ndibo and just a small fraction that want to remain in Nigeria due to some many benefits this little fraction are enjoying, and the bigger fraction or the bigger majority of Ndibos are not seeing. Look at what is happening when it comes to the political sphere. How many Ndibos, how many Igbo politicians are there, and is there a trickle down effect to help bring out the common Igbo man is always there, always on in his shop. If he's not in Alaba, he's in Upper Weka, just making ends meet. Now the question is, in Nigeria, have they benefited so much? Some will say yes, others will say no, that they've been marginalized. Either which way, referendum would truly solve the case. But where the help is coming from is an unlikely source no one expects, actually from CNG, as they push even further for referendum to take place. Let's meet in that conversation. What's your take?